Dejon from the Two Man Wrestling Podcast, and as you can see, today I am the only one here. This is because Will is on holiday. So we thought, of course, even though I am the only one here to record, we still have to make an episode for you because it's been a fun and exciting week once again in the world of wrestling, and not only just in the world of wrestling, but in the world of WWE. Not only do we have a SmackDown to get through, we have a Money in the Bank to get through, and we also have a Raw to get through today. So a lot of stuff to get through today, and I hope you all enjoy it. Hope you don't get too bored with just hearing my voice, but we're sure I will make it the best as possible for you guys today. So yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get to it. Yeah. So let's first start off with the review of the SmackDown, the last SmackDown before Money in the Bank. And wow, it was jam-packed to say the least. The show started actually fairly interesting. It was a little run-in between Paul Heyman and the Paul Heyman guys and the Bloodline, I would say the new Bloodline. It was an interesting stare down between the two groups that don't officially, have anything really to do right now. Seth Rollins was obviously doing his usual promo stuff, and he was trying to, try and control everything and saying everything he's going to do in the Money in the Bank match. And Solo's obviously in the Money in the Bank match too, and he, of course, thinks he's going to win. And it was just a little tease, I think, from my analysis. A little tease of Fatu and Braun Breaker have a little bit of tension. Obviously, nothing was happening necessarily yet with them, but there's been lots of shouts this week of possibly that being a thing at Survivor Series. Paul Heyman guys versus the Bloodline in some capacity, even having Roman Reigns coming back, have a few other members to the Bloodline. It would be very interesting to see. So watch the space on that, guys. Watch this space. So the next match on the card was Jimmy Uso versus, I'm still calling him Jeff Cobb. Will would also still call him Jeff Cobb, but it was JC Mateo. Accompanied by Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. And funny enough, I was a bit surprising to see this, but the roll-up pin of death was the way that Jimmy Uso won the match against JC Mateo. I didn't see JC Mateo losing that match at all, so it's very surprising. I guess it's some way to make Jimmy Uso look strong after several weeks where he's kind of looked okay. But yeah, wow. The roll-up of death, of course, was a way someone won a wrestling match again. And to see JC Mateo lose just when he's entered the WWE might be a case of concern, but we'll see. The next match on SmackDown was a Bakersfield brawl. It was between Zelina Vega and Piper Niven, accompanied by the rest of her compatriots in the Green Regime, Chelsea Green and Alba Fire. And no surprise here, even though it was a decent match, not too long, but it was a decent match. Of course, the winner was Zelina Vega. They're not going to book Zelina Vega weak as she is the US champion. I didn't ever see that coming. But yeah, fair play to Zelina Vega. Once again, racking up the wins in her division. She's currently running the division right now. But what was something really good at the match, which kind of brought someone else into the division now, was that Julia raised Vega's hand as a winner, and Julia headbutted Vega, and Julia hit a sit-out power slam right onto Zelina. And what was the great image was Julia posing with the women's US title on top of Vega. So I was dissing Julia beforehand, not being able to say her name properly, but she's getting wins. She's in the Money in the Bank match, as I will get back to later of the result of that match. And not only that was she's in that, she's now seeing set up for that next step in the title picture with the US title, a good middle card title for her to fight for. So fair play to Julia. She's getting the wins over opponents, and she's also doing stuff in different segments, and now she's in the US title picture, so fantastic stuff. Then we followed to an LA Knight promo. Yeah, everyone loves it. Yeah, LA Knight promo. Getting the fans riled up as usual, and it was just basically to give him that more, I guess, telling everyone what he's gonna do at Money in the Bank, and basically being like, "I'm gonna win. No one else is gonna stop me." And that was great because it then set up a little match with Aleister Black. Aleister Black obviously failed to qualify for the match, but it was a good match. Great match. I'm joking. It wasn't actually that much of a good match. It was just a match pretty much to set up Seth Rollins and his group, aka the Paul Heyman guys, to come in and absolutely destroy LA Knight. Seeming that obviously Knight is going to be in the match against Rollins at Money in the Bank on the day after, on Saturday. Nobody tried to help LA Knight, which was also surprising. But yeah, I hope there's a follow-up to Aleister Black being involved in the match. Because again, I would love to see him fighting LA Knight again, or seeing Seth Rollins, potentially have a match with Aleister Black. I'm just been questioning. Obviously, he's just lost. He's obviously won LA Knight. Aleister Black's lost by DQ. I just don't know what there is with that match. Was it just filler? Was it just literally just build up the Money in the Bank match? I think it was just to build up the Money in the Bank match. But either way, it was just to get more heat on the Paul Heyman guys, and I think it worked well. The next thing we saw was a couple of backstage segments. So we saw Jade Cargill being interviewed by Brian Saxton about the Queen of Ring tournament, which is coming up after the Money in the Bank, which we'll get to. And generally, it was just a nice little segment saying that, Jade is ready. She's ready for that next step. She wants to be Queen of the Ring. And she let Byron Saxton know about it for sure. And then we also saw Santo Escobar speaking with Los Garza, which is Angel and Berto, about their match at Worlds Collide. We said we were actually going to top up on Worlds Collide a little bit. I might do my own separate thing, or we might not think it's, 100% a good thing. We obviously we know that it happened the same night as Money in the Bank, Worlds Collide, but let us know if you actually still want to see a little, I guess, rundown of Worlds Collide. There was a couple of good matches on it. Obviously, we saw Stephanie Valkyrie fighting in their second match on that Saturday. We saw Chad Gable, getting his I love that. Chad Gable getting his match there as well. So yeah, let us know if you want me to do a little rundown of WWE AAA Worlds Collide Collaboration PLE. So after that, we had Rhea Ripley. She literally came out of the ring and was speaking to Tiffany Stratton about basically how she's going to win the Money in the Bank match. And this was all before we had a great 6 women Money in the Bank kind of wrestling match tag team where we saw Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, and Stephanie Valkyrie on one team versus Naomi, Roxanne Perez, and Julia on the other team. Another action for Julia in the night. And wow, again, great match. I thought it was a really good match. Good way to showcase all the women before that big 6 women Money in the Bank match the next day. So yeah, fair play to them. They put on a great match, just fantastic spots, and yeah, the winners by pinfall were Alexa Bliss and Rhea Ripley and Stephanie Valkyrie. Again, actually having the faces, you would say, winning the match. So yeah, really good match, and again, just great build up for Money in the Bank. Next on SmackDown, we actually had a great moment, not just with one tag team, but all of the tag teams in the tag team division, or the main tag teams, that is, on SmackDown. So we saw the White Six airing a video. It was actually Bo Dallas, as we know, Bray Wyatt's brother in real life, without his Uncle Howdy mask. I'm sure this was just purely to strike warning into the tag division, which it did, because the 4 top tag teams, being the tag team WWE Tag Team Champions, Street Profits, you had Faxium, Monster City Machine Guns, and DIY were all backstage talking to the SmackDown GM Nick Aldis about the video, kind of all just being like, wow, well, this is a really massive thing. And this again is building up the White Six, which I love. As I said, I think when Bray was in the company, when he was around, he didn't get enough appreciation. And I think they've been waiting a long time to proper do a great thing, have another creepy character, and this could be their creepy character, their creepy group, another Ministry of Darkness we can see through the Wyatt Six. Nothing's stopping the thought of that. It's just WWE needs a push on it. Triple H, get that creative book out. Make sure you do not flop on the Wyatt Six. Make sure you actually promote them in the right way this time. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, it was really good little backstage segment there, and really was good to see all the tag teams involved, all the big tag teams involved in SmackDown in that segment. Next, we then saw Andrade and Penta, two men that will be in the Money in the Bank match versus American Made. So Brutus and Julius Creed, the Creed brothers, and of course they were accompanied by Chad Gable. And again, really entertaining match, really good match to watch again, really enjoyable. And lucky pick to the win, Andrade and Penta. I feel like all this SmackDown was really a massive build up to Money in the Bank, and as we're seeing from the results today, as we've seen from the results on that SmackDown, it was definitely the case with Andrade and Penta both featuring not only in the Money in the Bank match, but featuring in a win on that SmackDown episode. It was an easy win for Andrade and Penta, and again, positive momentum. Nothing was wrong with positive momentum as they go into that Money in the Bank match. Then we heard that Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman and friends were gonna be out again, second time for the night. Again, more heat to rile it up, and give it a little clue of who's been featured so much on that show, of who might have been the winner in that Money in the Bank match. I'll let you know in the next bit. But yeah, another bit from Paul Heyman, guys. Another bit to make them look strong and powerful. They were out early with the new bloodline, teasing something. They're out here trying shit again, trying to rile themselves up, trying to think, yeah, we are the guys that are going to do something, and we're going to change the landscape of WWE. So great. And then finally, the final thing before we move on that SmackDown was a beautiful face-to-face in tag teams, because obviously their tag team match was coming up on Money in the Bank. It was Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. It was, again, I should probably say Cody Rhodes and the World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso. And they were having a little promo battle against Undisputed Champion John Cena and Logan Paul. Great promo. Great back and forth from both sides, the heels and the faces. And it ended, of course, in a brawl, which actually was really good. We heard little things as well during that segment of we want truth, we want truth, we want truth. Obviously, R-Truth's releasing. We covered that on our last episode of the podcast. We'll get these on that too as we talk about Money in the Bank. But yeah, John Cena actually probably gave one of his best promos we've seen in a long time. We Want Truth promo. It was really good, really hard hitting. And this was after he absolutely plummeted, him and Logan Paul plummeted Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso with various attacks, getting them lying on the ground. And we saw that picture, a very strong picture of John Cena holding the WWE Undisputed Championship, and then Logan Paul holding his, he wishes World Heavyweight Championship above himself. And this We Want Truth promo really just built up a very good last segment for Money in the Bank, and just led to what was going to happen next. So that was all the rundown of SmackDown. Quite a informative SmackDown, quite an enjoyable SmackDown. We have said we normally give rates throughout each match, but I think because it was the last show before Money in the Bank, before the PLE Money in the Bank, I thought it was important to just give it one rating, because at the end of the day, everything was to fill up that exactly. So if I had to rate this build-up preparation show for Money in the Bank, I'll give it a 7, a good 7 out of 10. I thought it'd be 7 out of 10 for this show. So here we go. Let's move on to Money in the Bank. Wow, it was an unreal pay-per-view. And it started off strong. We started off, of course we had to start off strong. It was a women's Money in the Bank contract ladder match. We saw Alexa Bliss versus Roxanne Perez versus Naomi versus Stephanie Valkyrie versus Julia versus Rhea Ripley. Spots galore. Everyone was loving the ladder here, 2 ladders on the side, and let's call absolute mayhem to the 2 ladders on either side of the main ladder where you climb up for the briefcase. We saw Stephanie Valkyrie hit a great move. We saw Rhea Ripley hitting a great move. Yeah, what a pay-per-view. PLA to start off with, sorry. Vince Alarm. I'm trying to have Will to tell me. Ding, 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 ding. I also don't have Will Red either. But that's obviously, he'll be returning next week. But on this match, again, it was an incredible match. It really did highlight how great women's wrestling is. Of course, it's incredible. And just highlighted again why it was right for them to open the show or possibly main event the show. It was unreal. But something me and Will said that became very surprising was the winner. We did not expect this. We were actually slating her last week after a little review of SmackDown. We were slating her and said she had no chance of winning the Money in the Bank match. We said Alexa Bliss. We said Rhea Ripley. We said even Roxanne Perez or Stephanie Valkyrie because, even Roxanne Perez, even though she might lose because she's young, she still has a better chance than this person. And it's one of the two, is either Julia or Naomi. And it was Naomi that is now Miss Women's Money in the Bank. Or Mrs. Women Money in the Bank. Wow. Didn't see that for her. Didn't see that. Didn't see her winning that. Didn't see them pushing her that much to actually get that win. Very surprising, but fair play to her, She's been in WWE for a long time. And, she's had a title run before. Been in the title picture before. So, hey, get Naomi back into this. I think it's especially since her release and then her going to TNA, it's just great to see her back on WWE's hierarchy now. And maybe she can win the big one. Let's see. And let's see what she casts in. But again, me and Will were slating her. We didn't think she would, but fair play to her. And again, great to see that. We see somewhat different, I guess, from the normal winning something massive. So we'll just wait on that space and see what Naomi does with that briefcase. Then we had an Intercontinental Championship match. We had Dominic Mysterio, who was accompanied by Liv Morgan. Apparently, someone else is giving chicken nuggets to Dom again. They've kissed and made up a little bit. Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan after Roxanne Perez came in and kind of jolted the Judgment Day group a little bit. And Dominic Mysterio was versing against Octagon Jr. It was an okay match. It was semi-decent, kind of ended the way I thought it would be, which is always a Dominic win. In this scenario, Octagon Jr. I felt purely was there, obviously, just to make sure that they build up Worlds Collide. That was on the same night. And no surprise of how Dominic won, by cheating and by help. It was actually Liv Morgan with the distraction that helped Dom win by pinfall. Again, no surprise there. Pretty surprising that he was going to win. Again, it was kind of announced late on Friday night, early Saturday morning, that he was going to be in a match at Money in the Bank. So, fair play to him. Did the job. Was seen. And he's doing really well, I think. I think Dom's doing really well with the Intercontinental title. He's getting more and more heel heat. Is showing, again, more and more why he deserves to be in the spot. He's a Nepo baby after all. But he's deserving why he deserves to be in that spot. He's worked hard to be Intercontinental Champion and worked hard on his character to make him the guy he is today. So I can only throw kudos to Dominic Mysterio. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing very well, pal. You're doing very, very well. And WWE also thinks you're doing very, very well because you got a pinfall win at a PLE, such a big PLE as well. So Dominic Mysterio's Intercontinental title run continues since he won it at WrestleMania, which fair play, mate. So next is the Women's Intercontinental Championship match. It was Lila Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. Again, I think this was always going to lead to one winner. Me and Will have been telling you for weeks, everyone, that there was only one person that's ever going to win this feud. It might not be over, but there's only ever one person that's really going to win this feud. And we did a short about it because I had an inkling that it was only going to be one woman. And it was indeed Becky Lynch, who won by pinfall to become new Women's Intercontinental Champion. She's only one title away. She needs to win the WWE United States Women's Championship to become a Grand Slam champion. And there's all the way we can see Becky two belts now because she's holding one of the mid-card titles. And there's no way we might not ever see her again doing Becky two belts. That's very much a possibility. Lila Valkyria did good on her for just doing well while she had her reign. I was getting a bit bored of this feud, so was Will, because we very much thought that we want something more. There was something more that was missing, and we got it in this match, to be fair. We got a decent match. They both showed themselves out well. And if this is end of the feud, I think they gave a great end to it. We're excited to see what Lila does next. Does she go for that rematch clause? We're going to start to see what Becky does next. Does Becky go on full domination with the Intercontinental title? Does she do a Gunter? Does the man do a Gunter with the Intercontinental title? We will only wait and see. But yeah, good match for Becky, and a win for Becky that again gives her another title in the WWE. Therefore will go down one day as one of the greatest women wrestlers of all time for sure. Next we had the one and only. I was excited for this match, as most of you would also been too. It was the men's Money in the Bank contract ladder match between Seth Rollins, Penta, Grand Americano, Andrade, Solo Sikoa, and LA Knight. And whoa, what a match. Penta's move, oh my god, Penta's Dragonfly. I mean, I hope there's still ahead on I hope there's still ahead left on whoever he hit the move on. Incredible stuff. I was trying to remember who he hit the move on, but I remember Penta hitting that. Jeez Louise, what a move. Extreme stuff. And again, we saw the utilization of them two ladders and that one ladder in the middle. We saw different studs here and there, and wow, again, incredible stuff. And who won? It was only one man that was really winning this. Again, keep him dominant, keep him strong. I wanted LA Knight to win it, and he didn't win it, unfortunately. There's also, I kind of wanted Penta. You know, Penta's lost a couple matches, he's won a couple matches. I want to see some consistency for him, and he didn't manage to get over because there was only one man winning this match. We also saw Solo Sikoa getting betrayed by Jacob Fatu. There was a moment where Solo Sikoa could have literally gone and won the match, and Jacob Fatu told him, "I don't love you, I hate you." Strong words as he pulled him down and absolutely obliterated him. It kind of took Solo the match and gave all the clear for Seth Rollins to be the winner of this match. Seth Rollins is now, I think he is a second or third. I think second of underneath CM Punk in terms of being a 2-time Money in the Bank briefcase winner. His first was obviously in 2014 or 15, one of the two. I remember his famous cash-in that we covered in a episode of a blind ranking. That his greatest opportunistic win against Edge. A great opportunistic attempt to kind of outdo Edge at WrestleMania 31. So yeah, great to win. Great to see him win, and wow, another step forward, another step for him again. Not only in his character, but in his career. I think Seth, again, I said last week, is the Seth Rollins of WWE. Sorry, Seth is the Shawn Michaels of WWE. He's just incredible what he does. He's an amazing wrestler. He's carried the company for so long, and he deserves all the kudos that he's getting. And putting something on him again it's expected, because he's one of the main guys in WWE. He's been there since 2014. Really, he's been one of the main guys. And who would he cash it on? Who would he cash in that Money in the Bank contract on? Is it going to be the person we're going to mention next in our next review of shows this week, or is it going to be WWE champion John Cena? Only time will tell. But Seth wins. He makes the Paul Heyman guys look strong again, and wow, again, spectacular match. I think all the matches at least so far on the card would have been 8 out of 10, at least 7, 8 out of 10. I think maybe Women's Intercontinental Championship match was maybe a 7, but every match so far was really, really good. Even including the Dom match, which I'll probably put as a 7, Dom and Mysterio, Octagon Jr. But the final match in the PLE, what can we say? It was Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes versus John Cena, Logan Paul, and wow. Let's start off with the big point, really, the big talking point in the match. We thought last week R-Truth was done, dusted in the WWE. He's going to go to sunset. He's 50 odd years old. He's done. He's done being a comedy act. He's going to just enjoy retirement. No. We no longer have R-Truth, ladies and gentlemen. We have Ron Killings. This was hinted very easily because R-Truth came back. He came back and absolutely destroyed John Cena. That came at a massive shock to everyone, a massive pop to everyone, and yeah, he won. He finally won. We finally saw R-Truth get something over John Cena for the first time we've ever seen that. Either be 2011 or Saturday Night Main Event. We have not seen John Cena ever lay down for R-Truth. R-Truth's always laid down for John Cena. So much so that John Cena is R-Truth's biggest inspiration. But R-Truth is no more. They hinted from just that little segment and a little bit after that R-Truth is probably going to be Ron Killings now. And that got further cemented at Raw, which I will get to. But yeah, that spot there from R-Truth, now Ron Killings, was a major reason why John Cena and Logan Paul lost that match. I want to say another quick thing. Logan Paul, I hope you're okay, buddy, because oh my gosh, that turnbuckle moonsault onto the announce table, onto Jey Uso, was not only hit with perfection, but brutal. Absolutely brutal. It was kind of the highlight of another highlight, I guess, of that PLA of Money in the Bank. Which I know you're okay, buddy, but again, Logan Paul showing why he deserves to be in them type of matches, deserves why he deserves that all the kudos, all the talk about him being a trained professional, proper taking WWE seriously, and yeah, he really added a little vim. He always adds that something to a match. Athleticism is crazy from Logan Paul, and well done again for giving a good show out, but not good enough because you lost that match. Cody and Jey Uso picked up the win, and yeah, that was it for Money in the Bank, really. A good PLE, strong PLE. Again, giving that what we wanted. We had build up for weeks on this PLE. What would it do? How big would it be? And it definitely showed off in the right way. And I'm really happy that it did come across in the right way. So yeah, let's get on to a final review of the podcast again. I'm so upset Will's not here, but the show must go on. And the show did go on because it was electric at Raw on Monday night. Post Money in the Bank, of course. And we actually saw John Cena. John Cena was out, raring to go. He was the first person that came out on that Monday Night Raw. And John Cena was ripping it up. He was talking. He didn't care. He was very much, again, harboring on "We want the truth" tagline, saying the fans didn't deserve it. Again, decent promo work. We're seeing some more decent promo work from John recently in these last coming weeks. He's kind of come into that character. And when a little bit of backlash, we were kind of like, is he wanting to be a heel or is he wanting to be a face? We're kind of cementing a little bit more now that he wants to be a heel. We just need to see, again, a bit more convincing. We need to be a bit more convincing with it. But we're definitely seeing that, he's very much, yes, I'm a heel. A little bit more so than we did before. So that's a great thing to see. But that wasn't the best thing about this promo. The best thing of promo is that CM Punk came out to the ring. And not only did he come out to the ring, he had a great promo with John Cena. And not only was that a great promo with John Cena, it was the history of them two. We haven't seen. This is the first time we've seen Punk and Cena colliding really since, I guess, they had their feud in 2011, 2012, I'm so happy to see this. Them two in the ring just hitting it out. I love the line Punk used. The Punk line he used was very much, I had that title before, and that title changed me, and it changed me for the worse. And I can now see you, John, being changed for the worse because of that title. That title brings so much power, but it also brings so much greed, so much dislike, so much hatred for the industry, so much why CM Punk left for literally about 10 years for the business, 9-10 years for the business. So I feel that was a great promo from CM Punk. And it also was very much like, yes, we saw what we wanted to see all along. We are going to see CM Punk and John Cena versing against each other at Night of Champions one final time. Why they've put it on Night of Champions? Well, they have a previous Night of Champions match before. They've had it for the W Championship. This was obviously when CM Punk was a champion around his first run. But why did we not see it at Money in the Bank? I felt like Money in the Bank was a perfect place to have this match. Just with the pure nostalgia of, as a fan, of course, to be remembering 2011 Money in the Bank and CM Punk leaving with the belt at the end of the night, kissing goodbye Vince with a nice blow kiss. I'm surprised they didn't do it at Money in the Bank, but they're doing it. They're doing it. I said they wanted it. I wanted it happening. I think Will wanted it happening as well. We're going to see CM Punk versus John Cena finally for one more time. And this time for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Is this CM Punk's chance to finally get that title since his return to WWE? It very much be. It very much might be as well. John Cena dominance once again. As he goes into his next venture. We'll wait and see, but either way, I know it's going to be a cracker of a match. I hope they put a stipulation. We've not seen anything of a stipulation of any sort at all yet, but wow, I can't wait. Honestly, I can't wait for that match to commence at Night of Champions on June the 28th. AJ Styles versus Chad Gable was the next match on Raw. And we saw also Brutus Creed and Judas Creed, the Creed brothers, alongside Chad Gable, American Made alongside Chad Gable. And we actually saw a win by AJ Styles, which, as Will would have said if he was here, he would have been ecstatic about that because he knows that I love AJ Styles. And he would have seen the grin and face to be like, yeah, it's good to see AJ Styles win. And he won simply by a Star Clash. The Star Clash hit Gable, and it was a quite quick win. It was just, I love AJ Styles. My love of AJ Styles has gone all the way back from TNA days, New Japan days. I've said this very much before. And the Star Clash, his athleticism with the phenomenal forearm, His moves in general, where he would be doing 450s anyway, it's just incredible. And obviously, I know he's aging a little bit now. But that Styles Clash has always been effective, and it was effective as usual in this match that saw the former world champion get the win. We also saw our first Queen of the Ring tournament match. We saw the Raw Superstars actually taking part in this, the women's Raw Superstars taking part in this, and it was Liv Morgan, Roxanne Perez, Kairi Sane, and Rhea Ripley. A fatal four-way, no countouts, only eliminations to see who gets to be the winner and qualify for the semi-finals of the Queen of the Ring tournament. Funny enough, the winner was actually Roxanne Perez. Again, booking her strong. They continue to booking her strong, continue to booking her really powerful, and it's really good to see. Roxanne, as well as Stephanie, I'm just glad to see that you've come onto the main roster and straight away you're making a difference, you're making an impact, you're already winning matches, you're already made to look strong, and that's kudos to Triple H. You know, he's watched over these wrestlers at MST, NXT's his baby, and he's very much made a lot of wrestlers. There's been a few wrestlers that have come up from NXT and not done the business, but there's a lot of wrestlers that he's brought up from NXT and have made the difference. And as we can see from Roxanne Perez and Stephanie Valkyrie, he's definitely highlighting that they are the next big thing. And definitely Roxanne Perez, who, again, 23 years old, so much ahead of her, already a multiple-time champion in NXT. A win by pinfall to make her advance to the Queen of the Ring tournament is a big thumbs up for me, and I'm sure it will be a thumbs up for Will as well. Then we heard new Intercontinental Champion, new Women Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch giving a solid heel promo. She was being, again, showing her man qualities in her character, and again a promo that was over the top, cocky and arrogant, because Becky knows who she is. She knows she is the shit. However, we saw someone automatically counting out that Lila Valkyria talk. So again, she might be very much involved in the Intercontinental Championship scene. We might see next week. But Bayley, welcome back Bayley. She absolutely destroyed Becky Lynch and pushed her to the mat, pushed her down to the ground, and almost is setting up a Bayley-Becky feud again. We haven't seen it in a long time. But yeah, wow. Can we see Bayley been trying to get that Grand Slam title now? Only time will tell. But well done for a great promo. Great little segment from WWE there. And so far giving a great Raw after Money in the Bank. Then we heard R-Truth, Ron Killings. He gave a great promo. You wanted the truth? You want all the truth? Well, you got the truth. And the truth is no longer R-Truth. It is Ron Killings. He officially turned into Ron Killings. There was hints of it at the end of Money in the Bank, but it was definitely confirmed now at this Raw. Even more so, he stood on top of the announce table, grabs his hair and snip, snip, snip. To confirm that he was now Ron Killings. I love this. I've been a long follower of R-Truth. Obviously, when I was 9, 10 years old, when I was watching WWE, he was in his R-Truth character, but very menacing, very heelish. And again, we highlighted earlier in this podcast and other episodes of the podcast that R-Truth 2011 is it's a good sight to see, and I think we're going to see returning to that. And Ron Killings in general, even when I was very young, in TNA in 2002, 2003, when the company was first starting up, he was really good as NWA champion, and it's good to see Ron Killings again getting his just desserts, getting his, I guess, deserved achievements and deserved little final push before I assume he's going to retire. For how much he's given back to the business, how much of a player he's been for the wrestling industry, especially for WWE. So yeah, it's a fantastic segment, and we're going to see a badass ass Ron Killings. The pop was crazy for this. It was amazing. And we're going to definitely see some more incredible Ron Killings content in the next few weeks. Excited to see what his match might potentially be, or what his role might potentially be at Night of Champions 2. So let's wait and see, ladies and gentlemen. Then we had a King of the Ring tournament. First round, Kings of the Ring tournament. And it was Sami Zayn, Dominic Mysterio, Penta versus Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker was accompanied by Paul Heyman, as he, of course, is part of the Paul Heyman guys. And, wow, this was a great match. Fantastic match. I think it really, again, was building up King of the Ring. When King of the Ring happens, I don't exactly remember. But again, another match to see through King of the Ring. A really good match. And actually saw Sami Zayn win by pinfall. So hey, Sami Zayn, again, advancing to the semi-finals. Let's see what he can do. Let's see if it's not just filler. Let's see if we can probably get into that World Heavyweight title picture, which we're going to get to as our final match, the main event of this Raw. Yeah. What can I say? Sami Zayn, Dominic Mysterio, and Penta, and Braun Breaker put an incredible match. I thought Braun Breaker might have edged it here. I thought maybe they're going to build up Braun Breaker for complete dominance. You know, give that early hinting. Again, very, very early hinting that Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins are going to dominate, with Bronson Reed coming in the mix and dominating too. But Braun Breaker actually lost this match and since Sami Zayn win. So yeah, Sami Zayn, let's see if he can go for a world title run. I want to see it. You want to see it. Yeah, it's about time. There's a lot of wrestlers that need to get their just desserts in terms of a world title. And Sami Zayn, for what he gave, not in just Ring of Honor, but in WWE, since he came in at NXT and now main roster, deserves a world title run for sure. Then we had our penultimate thing of the show, which was Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella returned. I said this in the preview, that Nikki Bella was returning, and this was actually to announce something we talked about again a couple weeks ago on the podcast. It was WWE holding out a all-women's premium line event in Atlanta called Evolution. This would be Evolution 2. This is the follow-on from a previous all-women's PLE way back, I think, around lockdown, actually, which saw all women's pay-per-view. It was really good. PLE, it was really good. And we're going to see it again. But then we saw how Nikki Bella probably going to be involved in that in some capacity, because from some heat on Liv Morgan, as she attacks Nikki Bella, Liv Morgan again. Wow, she's really coming angry out. She's not, even if it's not Roxanne, she's have beef with everyone at the moment, and she can't catch a break in any match at all. Yeah, well, Liv Morgan's next step again is going to be challenging Nikki Bella, we assume, but only, again, we've said many times in this episode, time will tell. There's a lot of mystery. I'm glad the last in Money in the Bank and Raw, they gave very much mystery, especially in this Raw. It's been a very much mystery to what's going to happen for the rest of the month. But it's hyping stuff up, and it's really giving everyone that follows WWE the kickback and being like, yeah, we're satisfied. There's a lot going on, and it's really enjoyable. And this very much was highlighted in our final talking segment of our podcast today. It was the main event of Raw. It was the World Heavyweight Champion, Jey Uso, versus Gunther. Hard-hitting, powerful strikes, and we finally got that rematch of WrestleMania. And we've seen something massive. We've seen Gunther become two-time and new World Heavyweight Champion. Jey Uso loses his title after a month or so of holding the belt, and wow, we didn't expect. Well, I didn't expect Jey Uso to lose it yet. Again, they were very much on this trajectory with Jey Uso, pushing him to the moon. But I had a thought, and I watched someone make this comparison. I wish I remembered his name on TikTok, but someone made this comparison. Although Gunter won, I think Gunter was always going to be the guy for WWE in terms of a powerful heel that is dominant. What I've seen with Jey Uso that WWE have done is they've compared. I'm seeing Jeff Hardy 2008 and 2009. And what I mean by this is they've had Jey Uso win the world title. It's kind of, in some way, worse with Drew McIntyre too. They made him hold a world title for a certain amount period of time. And they've only made him run like a month with it because of maybe merchandise sales. And they've took the belt straight off him a month after he's held it. Only a couple really defenses, and not against ridiculous opposition. And they're not. I think obviously he's the world champion, and he's really had all the backing for the fans, but WWE weren't convinced. I don't think Triple H was convinced that he was that world champ. I just think he was good for a moment. And that was very much the case with Jeff Hardy in 2008 and 2009. He is the moment. He's selling the best merch in WWE. He is the guy that's bigger than Obama in 2008. Like, obviously Jeff had his own problems with, his own issues with drug abuse and substance abuse in general, and that obviously stunted him with wellness policy breaks, and again, just not giving himself the best of light, even in 2011 Bound for Glory for TNA, Victory Road, sorry. But like, I just don't think they ever were convinced on Jey Uso, and it just highlights, it shows it, because he's lost the belt, and he lost by submission by Gunter. That submission looked horrifying. It looked destroying, soul destroying. Absolutely got him like this, and I think it makes Jey look really weak. It kind of just doesn't highlight him in the best way possible. I just think they do better for Jey. But they haven't. They've gave Gunter the title again, and hey, like, Gunter's going to run with it. I think Gunter's first run as world champion was very boring. I hope we see Sami Zayn win the King of the Ring, because King of the Ring, seeing Gunter versus Sami Zayn, which was hinted, and we saw very much time, so I want to see it again, but I want to see Sami win. If not, I would also love to see Seth win the world title again. But yeah, Gunter back on top on Raw, giving him something to do, I guess, after all this period of not being able to do anything and just having a rematch clause and not using it. But yeah, Jey Uso, commiserations, mate. I'm very sad that he lost the match, but again, he will get a rematch clause. We will probably get Gunter and Jey Uso again, maybe even this coming Raw. But yeah, that was a review of the week of wrestling. And it's not a two-man podcast today. It's kind of a one-man podcast. But again, Will is on holiday. He will be back next week. And in some way, we have a special episode for you next week, because me and Will both be actually in person doing the podcast, which will give us something different for a podcast. We'll do something different, but he will be returning, and our regular content will be returning next week. We'll be doing tweets of the week, of course. We'll be probably having a major discussion point. In some way, discussion point was all the review of the week, because there was so much to get through, as you can see from our podcast nearly being an hour today. But yeah, it's been an incredible podcast, and I think it's been a very good week of wrestling, and we're glad that I could bring an episode to you guys, because of course we can't make you have a week without seeing our pretty faces or hearing our pretty faces, one of us in the world of wrestling, and talk about the world of wrestling. So yeah, fantastic stuff. Thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and yeah, it's Dejon for Two Man Wrestling. Enjoy the rest of your day, and enjoy SmackDown tonight. There should be a SmackDown preview that will come out later. If there isn't, then there will be one. Of course there will be. We never fail to deliver on the Two Man Wrestling Podcast. So see you later, guys, and thank you very much for watching. Bye bye now. Yeet.